Hey guys, welcome to today's video, which is the Unpopular Opinions nail polish tag. There are, I think, 8 or 9 questions in this tag, so let's jump into it. So question 1 is a popular polish that you don't like. So I don't like any of those sort of sheer nude jellies that are really popular, like OPI's Bubble Bath or Essie's Mademoiselle or Marshmallow or Ballet Slippers. I can't get behind those. I find them so boring and I just don't like the colour on me either. And I just don't like being able to see my nail line unless it's like being used as part of the design, or if it's like, you know, you're using a white tip to do a French on something like that, which I don't really like either, then I just don't like that sort of look on my own nails at all. Question 2 is a polish that everyone hates that you like. So for me that is China Glaze, There's No One Like You. So this is a really heavily textured white polish. It's kind of gross in a way. I don't love wearing it, but I really thought I was going to hate it a lot. I put it on my nails and I was like, damn, I actually like this. I didn't want to like it, but I also really wanted to get it just because I think it makes, you know, a good part of my collection. I also have Essie's Belugaria, which is kind of a similar thing in black, like a really textured black polish with these big hollow glitters in it. And I just kind of felt like this was a really good counterpoint to that. So I wanted to have this in my collection, and I actually do really like it. I did not think I was going to like it, and I'm still not 100% sure if I do, but I think I really like it. So that's my one that most people hate that I really like. Question 3 is a nail polish finish that you don't like. I really can't get behind thermals. I always think they look amazing in swatches and things, and then when I put them on myself I just hate them every time. And kind of the same with magnetics as well. I see them, I think they look amazing, I sometimes buy them and then I just regret it because I never wear them. I don't like them, I don't like the look. I like the look on other people, but just doing it on myself I can't be bothered. There's just so many other designs that I'd much rather do. I do have a couple of magnetic polishes here. I have Masura Sunrise Together, and I have Sinful Colours Polar Opposites, and I never wear these with the magnet. I just wear them on their own. They're really beautiful colours, and those magnetic particles do give them a really nice depth, but I just don't like wearing them using the magnet. It just doesn't do it for me. Question 4 is a popular brand that you think is overpriced. So here in New Zealand, the polishes that you can commonly get in the US that you can get here are things like Essie and OPI. They're easy to find and they're way overpriced here. So Essie is normally about $18 a bottle, and I think that's probably the most overpriced for what you get, because I find that Essie's formulas can be really hit or miss. OPIs can run about $20 a bottle, which is more expensive, but I think their formulas are a bit more consistent. OPI's Nail Envy runs about $40 a bottle, which is just ridiculous. I bought it once as a gift for my mother. She really needed something on her nails that that would actually help her out, and it did really help her out while she was using it. And I think she went and bought herself another bottle afterwards, but she's kind of tapered off using it because it's just ridiculous. Honestly, $40 for a bottle of Nail Envy, it's just insane. I'm not sure how much that is in US dollars, but I will find out and I'll put a little thing down here to let you know, because at $40 NZ, it's ridiculous. And yeah, I never pay full price for Essie's or OPIs. I shop around online, I wait for sales, or sometimes I might buy them at full price but with a gift card or something, so I'm not actually spending my own money on these polishes, because that's just too much. $20 a bottle for a pretty dead average OPI is not what I want to be spending. I've spent more than that on some indie polishes and some really special polishes. I spent more than that on my bottle of Shine of the Times, and there's been a couple of indie polishes that I've spent, you know, it's averaged out to about that per bottle if you include shipping costs as well. But just, you know, walking down to a local store and spending $20 on one polish is just not something I'm keen to do. Question 5 is a trend you can't get on board with. I feel like I've kind of already answered this. Thermals, absolutely, and magnetics for the most part. I also don't really like chunky glitters or jelly polishes, like jelly polishes of any kind. I know I mentioned like those nude Bubble Bath, Ballet Slippers ones earlier, but really any of them I'm not a big fan. I do have a lot of the OPI Colour Paints polishes, the sort of sheer jellies, for like nail art purposes because they're really good colours, but in general I'm not a fan of jellies. But I wouldn't really say that chunky glitters or jellies are really like on trend at the moment, but those are, you know, other polish finishes that I'm not a big fan of. Question 6 is a trend you didn't like at its peak but you do like now, and for me that's probably glitter crellies. So obviously they're still around, people are still making glitter crellies, I still really like them, or I like them now. I didn't really like them that much when they were big, which I think was sort of about 4 or 5 years ago. They were really big, they seem to be everywhere, but I do really like glitter crellies these days. So I have quite a few, some indie polishes, some not indie. I think 5 out of the 6 that I'm holding here are actually indie polishes. There are a few mainstream brands that do some glitter crellies every now and again, but they're not that big in the mainstream world. They're more of an indie brand sort of a thing. But I really love them now. I've gotten over my weird hang up about them where I thought they looked murky and didn't look nice, and I'm like, actually, why did I ever think that? They're really pretty, and some of the colour combinations are just insane that you can find these days. So glitter crellies I really like, even though I don't think they're really as much of a trend now as they have been in the past. Question 7 is a colour you don't wear often or at all. There's not really any one colour. As you can sort of see, I do have a lot of different colours in my collection. I do wear most of them, not all at once obviously. There's quite a few polishes in my collection that I actually haven't worn yet, or I haven't worn in a way that I liked enough to snap a picture of it for Instagram, which is kind of how I consider my polishes worn, if I've actually worn them in a way that I liked and wanted to show off. But I don't wear as many brights or neons as I would like. So I do have a few. I've got a couple of OPIs here, I Just Can't Copacabana and Toying with Trouble. Orly Blazing Sunset is an amazing formula. That's the thing that mostly puts me off wearing brights and neons, is normally their formulas are just terrible, and I can't be bothered with polishes that take like 4 coats to get opaque and they just a bright colour. I can kind of deal with that with crellies or like jellies with glitter, things like that you kind of have to build up, but just like a plain cream polish especially, I'm just like, nah, I'm not that keen on that. The other ones I've got here are China Glaze That Shore Bright, which is a very kind of like a pale-ish colour while being quite bright at the same time. Really beautiful formula. That one just goes on like butter. It's so nice. It dries a bit matte, but it's not crazy like some China Glaze polishes. I've got Alter Ego Altaf, aka Beta Cancri. This one is from the Polish Pickup, so you can't get this one anymore unfortunately. It's got a bit of a metallic base to it, so that definitely helps with the formula on that one. And this one here I've got is Colour Club Glitter Envy, and I don't know if I even like this polish. I don't know if I'm going to be keeping this one. I haven't swatched it or anything, but it just really caught my eye and I loved the contrast of the glitters in the bright green. So it does have a pretty good formula. I have swatched it on like a swatch stick, but I haven't actually worn it myself yet, so we'll see. We'll see if that one makes the cut. But these are a few brights that I do have, but I don't really have very many of them. Question 8 is a polish that you like but feel is overrated, and for me that is China Glaze for Audrey. It is a really nice colour, but it's just a cream. It's not an amazing formula. It's like 2 to 3 coats. It's a bit borderline. I actually haven't had this until recently because I just had no interest in getting it, but I actually won it in a giveaway, so I do have it now, and I probably won't be destashing it because it is a pretty colour. It's a really iconic shade, which I like. You know, I like having some pieces in my collection that are a bit more well known. I've got this, I've got Essie Shine of the Times, I've got Orly Pink Chocolate, that's a really classic shade. Essie Bulgaria, I mentioned that earlier, that's kind of a bit of an iconic shade as well, just because of how unusual it was at the time to have that really chunky, really chunky glittery texture polish come out. So I've got a few of those that I'm probably going to hang on to. I'm probably never going to destash those ones just because they have a bit of meaning to me. So this is one of them. Now that I've got it, I'll be keeping it, but I never really had any desire to get it before I got it randomly, because I just don't think it's that special of a colour. Sorry. Question 9 is a top coat that you really don't like. So I have had a bottle of Seche Vite before. I think I've got like this much left in it, probably not even enough for a whole manicure. I did use it, it was great, but this Quick Shine by Jordana is so, like, it's identical the way it works, honestly, and it's so much cheaper for me here in New Zealand. I think the Seche Vite cost me about $14 to $16. This cost me $4.50, maybe $5.50 if I'm at like an expensive place that has it. but it's so worth it. It's perfect. It goes on beautifully, it's really glossy, it dries quickly. I don't have the same issue with shrinkage that I had with Seche Vite. For those who don't know, if you put your nail polish on and you put your top coat on, it kind of pulls back from the cuticle. That's known as shrinkage, and Seche Vite's a bit notorious for it. It does it on quite a lot of polishes, and I haven't found that Jordana does it quite as much as Seche Vite did for me. So Seche Vite's definitely overrated in my opinion. I also have the Super Chic Lacquer Marvel Liquid Macro Top Coat. I got this because a lot of YouTubers, specifically Simply Nailogical, swear by it. It's like their go-to top coat. They really love it. I think it smells like death. It does work nicely, it goes on nicely, it smells horrible. The Jordana one and the Seche Vite don't smell anywhere near as toxic as this one does, and this one I did find it could be a little bit finicky and be a bit brush strokey if you weren't really careful. So I do have this. Obviously I haven't used it much. I don't want to say I hate it, but I do think it's a bit overrated for what it is, especially when you can find this for $4 to $5. This was also quite expensive for me. I don't recall exactly how much, but this was definitely more in like the $10 sort of range. Plus shipping, of course, where this one I can just go down to the shop, pick some up anytime. Alright, the last question, question 10, is what is a nail polish that you feel doesn't get enough love? For me, it's more of a brand. I don't really hear much about Jordana. Like I said, I love their top coat. It's my absolute favourite. I have like about 6 or 7 bottles of it at any given time. And I also find that they've got really nice formula creams as well. So I did a video not that long ago where I did my top 5 Jordana polishes. And I kind of debated even doing it because 4 of the 5 polishes were just plain creams. But they're such good formulas, they go on so nicely. They're really good for nail art because they're very smooth and they work well with the brush or a dotting tool. They're just, they're very easy to work with, really nice colours, and yeah, I just think Jordana needs more love for what it is. It's a really cheap brand. They make great formulas, they make really interesting, really pretty glitters that I've got a few of, and they're just a really nice cheap brand, and of course their top coat is just, I will rave about their top coat for as long as anyone will let me. I could make an entire 10-minute video just talking about their top coat, which I will not do, to spare you guys. So anyway, that's the last question in this unpopular opinions nail polish tag. Feel free to argue with me down in the comments. I would love to hear your opinions and see what you think of my terrible opinions on nail polish. Make sure to hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell if you want to be notified every time I upload a new video, and leave me a comment down below if there's other sorts of videos you'd like to see on my channel as well. Let me know what that is and I'll see what I can do. Thanks guys, see you next time.